started. Jessica gets ready. Good to see everybody. Happy New Year. Everybody have a good New Year. Laura, did you get put in jail or anything? Did you talk about that? Hello.
Hello.
What? There you are.
Can you hear that? Okay, time to get started. We'll have the invocation, which will be the Lord's Prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. So let's stand for the Lord's Prayer. All together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and glory forever. Amen. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good to see everybody here. John has got COVID, and Commissioner Studs, I say, would be on his way. Before we start, we want to pass along our sincere condolences and sympathy to Buster for the loss of his son Greg, and we just want to put that into the record.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me get my paper straightened out here. Roll call.
Commissioner Hughes,
Present.
Commissioner Mosier,
Here?
Commissioner Richardson,
Here.
Commissioner West,
Here.
Commissioner Studs.
Okay, you've had a chance to look over the minutes of the last meeting. And, there he is. We've been waiting on you.
Well, thank you.
You didn't miss anything. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Motion made second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise, motion does carry. The recorder has a report of distributions for November of 2022.
Page 1 of the general fund, you'll see $4,699.22 employee and employer portions for Blue Cross Blue Shield. That's disability, life insurance, and accidental death and dismemberment premium for November. Further down, you'll see a TCRS payment. That was for the month of October, posted in November, $25,296.89. That's the employee and employer portions of retirement for the month. Further down that page, $109,895.14. That's the employee and employer health for actually 2 months on that through Cigna. Towards the bottom of the page is we received a property grant through PE Partners, our insurance, and we put security cameras at the library, so that $2,928 for East Tennessee Security Solutions was a payment on part of that project. Page 2, $2,635 to Leads Online. That's a software that's used by the police department, and that's an annual premium that they pay. We paid the lease for the Main Street Marketplace, Norfolk Southern Railway, $10,972.61. Page 3, we made some contributions that you'll see throughout there, but 2 of the ones I'll point out were to the Kiwanis Club and Sweetwater High School. Both of those were paid from Main Street for different contributions they made during Halloween as volunteers. $9,256 to Sweetwater Utility Board is our monthly stormwater payment. $11,037.36 Truckers Lighthouse Police and Fire. That's for equipment on vehicles in the police department. And we had done a bid for train car heating and air a while back, and that payment was made $19,000 to Valley Heating and Air. We also had a payment on our annual audit to Mitchell, Emmert, and Hill, $14,000. page 4 in the general fund, you'll see, I just wanted to point out that we got the second tranche of ARPA money, so all of that federal funding has now been received. $874,562.93 was that amount, and I'll show you where it's reflected being transferred over to the COVID fund also. Towards the bottom of that page, Sweetwater Utility Board, the utilities, including the high mass lighting and the regular street lights and traffic lights, $28,549.90. That's really it for the general fund. Nothing very significant in State Street Aid, nothing significant in drug fund. In the tourism fund, again, pointing to several events, both Halloween and small time Christmas events were booked in some of these November payments. So we paid for printing services to Choke Printing, Sweetwater Merchants and Property Owners Association, First Assembly provided volunteers, and so did several different groups at Sweetwater High School. The way we do that is if they send so many volunteers for so many hours, we'll make a donation of $250. So we had several different groups show up and support Halloween, which was great. So all of that came out of the tourism fund. The library fund is there. If anybody has any questions, see Tanya about that. The home grant did not have any activity, but I am so very happy to report that that house is sitting on that lady's lot. She cannot get in it yet, but it is there, and it's in 2 pieces still, but it is going to be put together soon. So I'm very, very happy that the last house is on site. Law enforcement agency, nothing significant in Fund 126 in November. And then, of course, solid waste collection. We paid out a garbage contract to Waste Connections for $22,949.70. Sorry, turn the page too quick, 70 cents. And then the very last page of the report is Fund 311. It's labeled as COVID funds. This is our ARPA funding, and you'll see where that amount was transferred in from the general fund to this fund that holds that money separately, the $874,562.93. Also, we did make a payment of $1,990 for the drop box that you see out front at City Hall, and that was from our COVID plan, the initial draft that we did on how we were going to spend that money.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to accept these distributions?
Can I ask a question before we vote on this? When did the railroad go up? I thought we had leased this for $9,500.
We did for 3 years, so this was the 4th year, so it did go up.
What, $1,000?
Well, and actually, they didn't even bill it as an increase in the lease. I can show you what the paperwork says, but it was something along the lines, we made some modifications, said that we were going to put a building down there. So I'm not sure if that's what the increase was, or if it's because technically we don't pay a lease on the rest of the property we have downtown. So I will tell you my philosophy with the railroad lease.
So we put a bathroom on a guy's property, he goes up $1,000 on a rent.
And I'm not 100% sure that's what it was, because it could also be that we don't pay a lease for the downtown parking lot, which is technically railroad property. And they were kind of asking some questions about that last time, and I just never sent back the lease paperwork. So my thought on them is not to wave the flag in front of their face if they'll end up charging us twice what we're already doing.
Well, at one time, they was also questioning where the train car was and the water fountain. And we kind of swept that under the rug.
They might as well question the front street.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right, it did go up, and there wasn't a real clear description on why it was up.
What is the difference on the amount of money that we charge for the market and everything compared to the rent? How much short are we?
So this is going off the top of my head, but the last time I looked at it, we make right around $4,700 a year off what we charge vendors to set up at the marketplace, and the lease is like around $10,000 or a little more than $10,000 now. So we're not, well, first let me say we have never used a dime of city taxpayer money for that marketplace lease yet. And that doesn't mean that won't happen next year, but we have not had to do that yet because we've had grant funding and to supplement the vendor fees. I don't have a grant. I actually just got a grant this last week for $2,500 for the marketplace, so that's probably going to make it so that we're not spending any city taxpayer money from this coming year either. But that could end at any time. So far, I've understood that everybody thinks it's worth it to keep doing that lease so that it doesn't turn back into something we don't want down there. But they did go up a little bit this year, and I'll be honest with you, I did not really investigate or ask very many questions about why, because there's other stuff down there that I think they could be charging us for that they're not. So I don't really wanna wave that in front of their face.
That's
We
an
don't have
annual
to.
amount.
That is an
Correct.
annual amount. And
I,
we're recouping all of it right now, but only about half of that is because of fees from the vendors that are down there.
Okay. Any more?
just me
Question?
personally, based on where we came from, what that corner now draws to our city, I think the offset is well worth it to get to use it like that, so.
Okay.
And especially if grants are covering it.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Sorry, I didn't get a motion or a second, sorry.
Who made that motion?
Does anybody wanna make a motion?
So moved.
Make a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Got it. All in favor, aye. Opposed likewise, motion carries. We have staff here from ETDD, Ms. Laura Smith, who is no stranger, to present the Parks Master Plan that we contracted with in March of 2021 to work on. The master plan is now required by the state for a recreational grant application. They will review the plan, get input, so we will open a public hearing for the Parks Master Plan. And at this time, I'll turn it over to the East Tennessee Development District.
All right. I'll take the lead, Laura's kind enough to be here with me. So, what you'll see here is just aerials of your park. One of the things we were required when we applied for a recreation grant, which will be open in February 14th, I think, is the deadline. So we'll be making that application. This is part of what we have to do with the application. The recreation grant is, you can go up to $500,000, of course you have to match, it's 50-50, but you can use some in-kinds and all that. We'll get into all that as we get further down the line, see what we can do. It can be used for anything to do with parks. I know there's been some talk about the swimming pool, whether we may wanna replace the liner or whatever. I mean, and I know you guys have been talking about that, so we can get more into that as we go further on that. But tonight basically it's basically what they call a recreation plan. We will have two of these. We have this one and then we have another one that is set for 8:30 on the 19th. On the 19th. So we're required to have two. After we have those two, then the final document will be prepared and give to you guys so you can vote on it on February the 4th. And that basically you're just saying, hey, we approve the recreation plan. And what we're doing tonight is basically giving you these aerials, and I've got little stickies. If you want to go around and put little stickies on, that's fine. Or if you guys say, hey, I'm just going to tell Jessica what I think we need, and she can send the emails to me, that's fine. Either way, I mean, but we do have those. But I do need y'all to walk around them a little bit so I can take some photos. So I mean, if you can do that. But, and then I have the sign-in sheet that's being passed around, whoever it is, and then we'll get that. But basically, this tonight is just really looking at the parks. You know, if you say, you know what, the duck park, we think we need to add another pavilion. Well, that's something that we would actually put in the plan, that when we had the master plan, we were thinking we need, you know, the public had said add another pavilion. Doesn't mean we have to right now, but that will also be part of our short and long-term plan. A long-term plan will be 10 years. So then we kind of put down, okay, in 2028, we're thinking that we may have some funds to put in another pavilion or something like that. And again, it is a plan, so there's nothing that holds you to it. So if you say 2028, you put in a park of some kind and you don't do it, nobody's going to come and say, wait a second, you said 2028 you're doing this, how come it's not been done? It's just a plan, and that's all this is. So right now, this is open to, like I said, I've got little stickies. If you all want to write stuff on the stickies, that's fine. Or if you want to send emails, that's fine. Either way, but you know, if y'all can go around and kind of look at these aerials, and if you want to put something on there, perfect.
Let's take a break and kind of look around.
Mitch, will these maps be here for several days, or will you take them back one night?
I can leave, we can make some more, so I can leave, we'll take some photos. We can leave, yes,